Good evening, everyone. Can you all introduce yourself in the chat box, please? Hi, Deepak. Hi, Pradeep. Hi, Satish. We can give 2 minutes for others to join and we can start the masterclass for today. Okay, good evening, everyone. This is Soumya from AP Trainings. So let me give you a small introduction about what AP Trainings is. AP Trainings is all professional trainings, and we provide all IT related trainings, electrical, electronic trainings, and soft skill trainings. We have trained over 10,000 plus students till now all over the world, mainly from the USA, India, Europe, Australia, Mauritius, etc. So we are looking to expand even more, and we follow three types of teaching methods. One is the master class, which you are attending today, and one is the flash course, which covers the basics, and one is the full course, which is like in-depth coverage of the technology that you are going to learn. So these classes are one-to-one training at your convenient time, and we make sure by the end of the course you are able to understand the technology really well. And we will also be conducting poll questions in between, which will comprise of the interview questions. So please do answer them so that it will be useful for you. And if you have any doubts, you can put them in the chat box so that the team or the trainer can help you with those queries. And we will also be sending the feedback form by the end of the webinar. It is mandatory to fill the feedback form to get your e-certificates. I'll explain about the agenda for today. So today's agenda will be 10 minutes for participant introduction. Please introduce yourself if you're a student or a working professional so that we know about the audience for today. And 45 minutes will be for webinar content and 20 minutes will be for queries. 5 minutes will be for student guide. I'll be explaining you about what we follow here. And 5 minutes will be for the offer that we have today. And 5 minutes will be for queries and feedback. And today we have AngularJS Masterclass, which our trainer is going to introduce you to. And he has 5+ years of experience in an MNC with a skill set of having experience in full stack development, IoT development, and cloud engineer, and more in the role of technical lead. So over to you, Gautam.
Hey, thanks, Soumya. Hey, hello everyone. So good to see all you guys here. Can I get a thumbs up or yes in the chat box if I'm audible and if you guys can hear me clearly? Let's make this session interesting. Yeah, I get a thumbs up from Satish. Thanks, Satish. And quickly, can you all introduce yourself in a chat box, whether you are a student or you're already a IT professional, so is ready to learn new skill set, and so we will know what you are all going. I mean, so basically, so based on your skill sets or your mindset, so we will take the class or the courses going forward. So that will really help us to take it forward. Mm-hmm. Students, okay. Come on, guys. So let's make it as an interesting. Okay, in the meantime, let me share my screen. Okay. So I see a response like from the students' background, most of you people. So let's cover. So whatever we are going to cover, it's like kind of a student or IT professional can grasp it easily. So that's how we are. We have structured our slides or whatever the going forward learning path will be. So before I continue to the actual session of Angular, so I'm introducing myself again. So I'm Gautam, and I'm having a IT experience of 5+ years, as Soumya explained. And I have various skill sets like the full stack developer. You may know, or you might not aware what is full stack and all. So full stack is nothing but it's having a skill set of back end, front end. So Angular we call it as a front end. So nothing but the web app and all. So that is the called of front end. So and we will be having the back end and also back end technologies like Java, Python, or Node.js, something like that. So but yeah, so we will not cover about those parts. So one of the skill set of full stack will be Angular. And please feel free to drop the questions or whatever the confusions you if you face in between this 1 hour session. So I will keep have eye on in the chat box. So but yeah, please feel free to use that. And as we said, so we will be having a polls of questions in between. So please do participate, and based on that only we will know how much whatever we are giving a training, so how much it is reaching you people. So based on that we will keep on like improve ourselves and going further. Let's start with the Angular. Once again, welcoming all. So Angular. So here we are talking about Angular. So as I said, it is a one of the front end technologies which is in leading in market. Okay. So this is a kind of framework for mobile and desktop. So when I say framework, there is a saying called library and framework. So in the market we do have competitor for Angular. So like React.js. So you people might might have come across that word. So React.js from Facebook. So that is a kind of library. So when we say library, it's not a complete full set of what to say. So kind of technology which will help to frame the front end. So but Angular is not like that. It comes with, in the full set of the technologies, which we can call it as it is a complete front end framework. So in going forward further slides, you will come to know what we are telling, why we are telling Angular as a framework. Okay, not the library. Okay, and it is not only the framework for desktop or the browser in the desktop or the laptop. So it is a framework for mobile as well. So we will see that how we are going to do in a kind of high level. Let me jump to the Angular for the slides. Okay, so before getting to the actual learning path, so I wanted to introduce a few things like the top companies or the website which is currently using the Angular. So of course, YouTube is using its internal code standards. They are using the Angular, one of the part of their code development activity. And of course, Netflix, as you are aware, Netflix is just it's a streaming TV, right? So they are using the Angular 8 plus versions, and Gmail, IBM, and so on. So what the big giants we kept here, but not only this, limited to this. So we have a number of Angular is booming up, and still it's already, and in the next 1 or 2 slides, you will know why Angular is already it is boomed up, and it is still in a high pitch. Okay. So yeah, so entering to the technology path. So anyone knows about what is SPA? Any guesses? So it could be wrong or right. So please give any guesses. Please drop your answers in the chat box. Okay. That's okay if you don't have an idea. So thanks, Deepak, for that response. Okay, I see most of you are from students background maybe, so that's why. Let's go to this SPA. What is meant by SPA? So it's nothing another, it's a single page application. So the word says, right, so single page application. So don't imagine that it will be having only one page or something like that in the web browser. Okay, so but the naming is says it is a single page application. It is a web application or the website that interacts with the web browsers. So when we say web browser, it's nothing but your day-to-day life you are using, right? Chrome, Opera, Firefox, and all. So those we are calling as web browser. So whatever the web application we are developing, right, the Angular, so that will be run in the web browser only. Okay, so in the traditional days, like when I say traditional days, in the olden days, so how it used to be is, so here in the picture you can see, let me just take the annotations, just give me a minute. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm just arranging the things. Yeah, so in the traditional days, as you can see here, the client is nothing but your web browser. So, okay, the web browser, which is the web application which is running in the web browser. Okay, your server is nothing but the backend, so that might be sitting in somewhere in the IT language I'm saying. So a server is nothing but your kind of one computer which will be sitting in somewhere kind of data center or the server management place. Okay, so in the traditional days, the client used to request the server. So this is how it happens actually in the background. So when we see from the Chrome, so we are just hitting google.com, right? But in the background, this is how it used to happen. So it was client, the browser will send the request to the server to get the data, to get the page, to get the website, web application, right? So the server will respond with that particular web application. So in the traditional one, for each page, for every page or for every data to load, So the old modern, I mean old days browser used to send the n number of requests for each payloads to get the data or to get the pages, new pages, right? And in the client, nothing but the web browser will reload the page. You might have noticed if you went through any kind of very old browser, let's say Wikipedia is a kind of it is still in traditional page application, actually traditional way of doing things. So when you click on each link or something like that, it will reload the page and it will get the data and it will show the things in the web browser. But in a SP application, so that's where the technology started booming. Okay, so client will request the server, and server will send all the data to the client, like whatever the necessary pages to the in the immediate, in the initial load itself. So from then, so client will start loading itself. It will not depend on the server. It will internally dynamically load the data whatever we are getting from the server in the client side itself, not like the traditional way will reload the entire page itself. But in the client here, which is using the single page application concept, it will not reload the page in all the scenarios I'm talking about. So it's nothing like it will not reload the at all. So it does actually, but in let's say I wanted to reload some data dynamically, so in that case SPA application is a best way to do that instead the traditional way. And whatever we are seeing Angular and React.js, as I said initially, so those all comes under the SPA application concepts only. So I hope you guys get kind of good grasp here. Okay, so now coming to the introduction. So whatever we saw, we were just SP application, that is just a concept of the kind of overall or overview of SP application. So from SP application, we are divided into the Angular, one of the concepts, I mean one of the framework or library which is implemented the SPA concepts. Okay, so now let's talk about Angular. So what is Angular? So, and where it is implemented and who has supporting it or developed it and all. So it is, of course, it is a open source JavaScript framework. Open source is nothing but it will be available for anyone in the world. Or it's a kind of open platform. Okay, so there are two types of different types of license mechanisms available in the world in the IT. One is open source, so anyone can use it. One is a license based kind of concepts. Okay, so license based means like you have to purchase that to use it in your system or in your server or whatever. But Angular is open source, so we don't need to worry. And Angular JS, so in the initial, so when I say Angular JS, that is a kind of first version of Angular. Okay, so don't confuse among Angular JS and Angular, both are same, but the versions are different. So Angular JS started from 2010. Okay, so but later they have started renaming that, instead of calling it as Angular JS, they started calling Angular 2 plus version, Angular 4, Angular 5, in a different versions manner. Okay, so I will tell you what was the reason also. But yeah, so just to have a kind of high level understanding, when it is developed at 2010, and it uses a TypeScript concept. So don't worry what is TypeScript concept and all. So it's a superscript of JavaScript, superset of JavaScript. Okay, so now again, so don't confuse what is JavaScript now. So those are kind of different language platforms. So maybe we have a different sessions available for JavaScript and all also. So please do attend that to get a deep knowledge of what is JavaScript and what is TypeScript and all. But yeah, so Angular is using TypeScript, so nothing but it is Angular is developed, or we will be coding on top of the TypeScript related stuffs. So but don't worry, so if you don't know or if you have zero knowledge in TypeScript, so that's why you people are here, and we will try to educate you in TypeScript or JavaScript and in Angular in every way in upcoming courses or upcoming slides. But yeah, and it is maintained by Google. When it is developed at 2010, it is not under Google. It was developed by some other people, but later Google acquired it, and it is being maintained by them. Okay, so now you can get a sense of it, right? So why Angular is that much big in the market? So because it is being maintained by Google, and it is a single page application, as we said, and designed for web, mobile, and desktop platforms. So as I said, so it is not only for desktop alone. So with the same Angular framework, you can develop a mobile app as well. Whatever in day-to-day life we are seeing, right? Play Store, we will you are downloading some apps, so those apps also you can develop if you know the Angular framework. Okay, but yeah, so to develop the Angular mobile framework, so there will be a additional top level framework you need to know, that is nothing but Ionic mobile app. So no need to know some new again new language or new coding languages and all. So you will be using the Angular coding related stuffs only, but on top of that there will be a kind of framework, Ionic framework will be there, so that will help us to kind of make that app actually. So but yeah, don't go into that picture, but yeah, so just aware of Angular. With Angular we can make the mobile app as well. And Angular, as I said, Angular has different versions, and it is daily. So like in every year you can see two versions will be coming up, two new versions will be coming up. So let's talk about that different versions of Angular. Okay, so yeah, so these are the different versions of Angular. Angular JS I didn't mention here because the history of Angular is something like Angular JS is completely different kind of coding standard, or the kind of architecture. When I say architecture, the internal architecture of Angular. So that was completely different in Angular JS, nothing but the Angular 1 versions. Okay, so from there, so the Google team so completely rewritten that Angular JS to Angular 2. So but don't worry, so you don't need to know about Angular JS, that is completely different, but we will be start knowing the things from the Angular 2 plus versions only. So in IT market also, so they will not ask you about Angular JS and all, they will start you so but when they say Angular JS, so it is nothing but Angular 2 plus versions only, so don't confuse. So Angular JS, that Angular 1 version, it is outdated. So mostly no one is using now the Angular JS versions. So but yeah, so these are the kind of rough dates when they have released. Angular 2 was released in 2016, and current the latest version is Angular 12. It is like 1 month before it was released, and still they are keep on upgrading the things. Okay, so these are the list of versions. So Angular 3 we don't have. That was a kind of silly reason was given by Google why they don't have Angular 3. But yeah, so let's not talk about that. But yeah, these are the versions of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and we are expecting another version to be coming in at the end of the year. And as I said, AngularJS is the first version developed, and it is completely rewritten to make the above version. So don't worry about Angular first version, nothing but AngularJS. Okay. So as we said, so before going to the next set of slides, so let me just to make the session interesting, let me launch some polling. So I've launched the polling. Please do answer for it. So please do participate. So then we will know how much you people are following up. So please do answer for this. So your answers will be anonymous only. So you will not be your names will not be come here. So please don't hesitate to answer. So whatever it is, right or wrong, please. Come on, guys, please go ahead. I see around 50% of you people voted. Let's give 10 more seconds. Okay, let me end the poll. Still we don't have 100% response, but yeah, I would like to continue the session. Okay, let me share the results and let's see which is right and which is not. I hope you guys can see the screen with the poll results. Sorry. A single page application reloads the page for every request. It is not. Okay, so the traditional way of application reloads the page whenever it is getting the new data from the server, something like that. But single page application or the modern websites which is using that, so they won't reload in all the scenarios. So okay, so sorry, the answer is no. So I just misunderstood, but yeah, so it won't reload the request, reload the page for every request. So the answer is no. So please follow up, guys. Angular is a framework and not a library. Yes, exactly. It is a framework and it is not a library. So libraries are like React.js, Vue.js. So those are other libraries. So those are again competitor for Angular. What is the Angular latest version? Yes, of course, it is 12. Yep. Let's go back to the next part. Let's now talk about the interesting stuff. So Angular features. What are the features we have in Angular as a framework? Okay, so and here we can know why we are calling Angular as a framework, actually, not a library. Okay, let's come from the clockwise here. Declarative HTML approach. So HTML is a concept. It is a kind of language, markup language, which is to first before that. So let me take a question in the chat box. So how many of you know about HTML, CSS, these technologies or these languages? Do any one of you know HTML? Okay, basics. Okay, that's good. Yeah, that should be good. Okay, and if you're replying, I mean putting replying in the chat, please do reply to me or put it as to everyone at least, so that we will know the response if you're not. Yeah, right. Okay, let me just go forward. So I see most of you at least know the basics, but don't worry if you don't know. Declarative HTML approach. Yes, Angular supports we can use the basics of HTML or advanced concept of HTML to develop the websites. So that is what declarative HTML approach. And yes, of course, in Angular we will be using the HTML and CSS and other stuffs also. So but don't worry. So what is HTML and all, we will be covering that. And a two-way data binding. So two-way data binding. So let's ignore data bindings. Let's talk about I mean, let's ignore two-way. So let's talk about data binding. Data binding is nothing but see, I have something called, let's say my name is Gautam, right? So I wanted to display my name in the website. Actually, that is a dynamic name. So if you are opening, it should display your name, actually. Okay, so this data we need to show it in that website page, right? So that is what. So from server we are getting some data, and that data we are processing it in the website, and we are showing it in the page, nothing but the website or the browser. So when I say website, that is a browser. In the browser we are going to show. So to show that data dynamically, so this data binding concept will help us to do that. So I have a slide to explain more about that data binding and its types. So we'll see about that. But yeah, two-way data binding. So just remember the concept, two-way data binding. We will look into that. But yeah, this is one of the key features in Angular. So we don't have this kind of features in the competitors like React.js and all. Code reusability. So in every IT field, this is the main feature we should need, actually. So code reusability, nothing but, let's say you wanted to let me show you one website here. Let's say you wanted to develop this page. Okay, whatever the page you are seeing here, so the same page I wanted to develop again. So in IT field, or this is the key what to say, words we can say. So don't repeat yourself. So nothing but don't repeat the same code every time. So make use of the code which you are already did it. So that is meant by the code reusability, reusable components. So components I will tell you so what is the components about, but yeah, code reusability nothing but if you need the same thing in again in different place, so instead of rewriting it, just you make use of the same thing whatever you already written it. It's nothing like control C and control V. So it's all about just using that particular component here itself. So we'll talk about that. And component based approach. So component based approach are nothing but, let's say, this entire page, this entire whatever I'm drawing in the spotlight, right? So this nothing but this is a one component. Okay, in that component this is also one more component. So we, so nothing but we can differentiate each thing as a components actually. So when we want to update a particular thing, let's say I wanted to update this particular CLI documentation name to some other name. So we will not update every other components and all. We will just Angular. This is just Angular will help us to update this particular component alone. So instead of loading or reloading everything. Okay, that's a specialty of SPA and Angular. And coming to end-to-end integration testing, and this is a one more main concept, guys. Wherever you go as a developer, so you should be knowing about the testing. So what is the different kind of testing we should do, and how to do that. So one is the end-to-end testing. So nothing but from the backend server, from the data we are getting the backends from the backend servers, and showing the data in the user page here. So that is the end-to-end integration testing. And unit testing. So unit testing is nothing but, let's say, as I said, this is one component. Let's assume that this is one component. So we need to test this particular component. That is a concept called unit testing. So with karma is a don't go to the kind of other thing, but yeah, karma is a your web unit testing framework. So karma and Jasmine and mocha and chai, there are these are the terms, just remember that. So we will cover that in detail. Client side routings are nothing but in the URL, in the domain URL you see, right? So now we don't have any routing, but yeah, let me just show you. So this is one another just third party website. So don't take it in our demos purpose, but yeah, you can see Angular slash this. These are called as routing actually. So routing URLs. So in Angular we can develop those routing, different routing. Let's say when I click on the learn Angular, so it can take you to the slash learn, and when I click on the CLI document, it can take you to the slash documentation. So those are different routings. So nothing but that routings will define us or will help us to navigate to that particular component or to the particular page. So that is the concept of client side routing. So client side routing is nothing but it will not ask the server to send me the details for that routing. It will in the client side itself. Client side is nothing but in your web browser itself, it will start reloading it. And native mobile apps, as I talked about, we Angular we can build the uh, Android web apps also, and Angular CLI commands. So Angular CLI commands, I will talk about that. And animations are nothing but, let's say, this is also one more one of the animations. So when you're just mousing on that particular one, this is animations, and not only limited to this. So animations like some kind of content flowing from here to here, and top to bottom. So and different kind of animations can be done in the Angular. So that's the reason. So this is the reason why we are calling Angular as a framework. It gives us the flexibility of writing the code here, and it gives us the flexibility of testing itself, and it gives us the flexibility of having animation and mobile apps and everything. So developing the mobile apps. So this complete picture, that's why we are saying it as a Angular is a framework. So as I said, React.js is not a framework, right? That is a library. So React.js will not comes with client side routing. So we need to depend on some other library to do that. And it will not come up with the animations. It will not come up with end-to-end integration testings and all. So those are the limitations in the libraries, but Angular is a framework. Okay. So please post your doubts or questions if you have any. I will take it forward. But yeah, before that, before going to the poll questions, so let's talk about the Angular architecture. So when you start learning into the any kind of new languages or kind of framework or library, so please make sure you go through the architecture of it. So how internally it is structured, how internally it is built, and what kind of concept they are using behind the scenes. Okay, so that will really helps you to see from the down of the table. Okay, so here you can see, so everything in the Angular or everything in a kind of modern web application framework, so everything will depends as a components. So as I said, so components are nothing but, say, let's say this is one of my components. So if I want to use this component again, I mean, if I want to use this kind of text content or the box which we are showing somewhere else, so we can just simply use this component and show it there. So instead of rewriting the complete code, that is a specialty of components. We call it as a components actually. Okay, and templates. So this, don't forget this symbol. So less than and greater than. So this is telling you that this is the HTML actually. So HTML tags are always starts with that uh, less than and some tag name, and it will close that tags. So we'll see in that code. But yeah, that template is nothing but the HTML templates actually we are talking about. So components always talk to the templates, and the template also can talk to the components. Okay, so this component is nothing but, now in a technical way I'm telling, so components are nothing but your TypeScript file or the TypeScript code, or the JavaScript also you can say. So because TypeScript is nothing but superset when I say, so it is a kind of master of JavaScript, you can say. So components are nothing but it is a TS files when I'm talking in a technical term I'm talking about, it is a TS file, TypeScript file, and these templates are HTML files. So this TS file can talk to the HTML file. So that concept we are calling it as a property binding. Okay, so let's say I wanted to send some data, some we saw some example, right? My name is Gautam or whatever. So that data we should pass from components to template, that concept called property binding. And when template wants to talk to components, so when templates can talk to components, let's say when you're clicking on this, so something is happening, right? Some new websites are coming up, right? So because we coded it there in that way, when we click on that, it should happen. So that kind of concept. So this whatever it is showing, that is all those all are HTML, right? So when we click on that in the template, it can still talk to the component also, sending some data or sending the event like a click event, mouse overview event. So those kind of things can send it to the components, and components can take care of it. What should I do, or should I talk to the server to get some data or something like that. So this is how the data binding concept will work. But yeah, and directives, there is a concept called directives also. So that is helping the template. So in what way it is helping the template to structureize the template. So uh, let's say the new component, this component we have, right? So I wanted to repeat this component some 5 times. So we have a concept called for loop in the directives actually. ng for it is called, but it is nothing but for loop. It is doing the for loop. So if I want to repeat it 5 times, so I can use that for loop in the HTML, and we can have this new component as displaying in 5 times actually. So that is a one way of example for directives. But there are the n number of built-in directives are there. We'll talk about that. There are the other dependencies and components and all is exist, and services. So services are nothing but that really helps you in data way. So we know, right? Angular, any client application needs to talk to the server to get data, right? So services are really helps in that. So it will talk to the server and get the data, and that data being injected to the components. So from here, then components will take to the template, and template vice versa, it will happen. So this is how Angular architecture, and this is around this box only we will start every concepts in Angular. Okay, so let me I think I'm taking more time, so let me just go to the next one. Just yeah. So here we will talk about the different steps or the useful steps to create a basic Angular application. Okay, and a prerequisite of the software or the packages what we need. So you should have Node.js and npm. So not so don't worry what is Node.js and what is npm. So just head to the just Google and just search for Node.js and download. It should take you to the Node.js one. So you can please feel free to download the latest version. So nothing but the LTS version. So you can download for whatever the operating system you have. So that is a mandatory. So once you download Node.js, the npm also will be downloaded automatically in the Node.js itself. So and after Node.js, you can go and install the Angular CLI. So Angular CLI, I will tell you what is Angular CLI. But yeah, to install the Angular CLI, this is the command npm install -g. So we will try to share this documentation with you all who are participated. But yeah, these are the commands to create the, I mean, install the dependencies for Angular. So these two steps are one-time activity. So we will not repeat that activity every time. And to create a new project, when I say new project, nothing but, so now we are working on it, right? So this is nothing but the project. So in a IT language, when we say, so that is a new project. So to create the new project, ng new demo app. This demo app is nothing but the name of your project. Okay, so now I created the project. So how to run that project? So just go to that folder, demo app, and just do npm serve --- open. So this will build and it will open the application in your port, whatever the port is configured, 4200. So if you are installing Angular CLI 11 version or 12 version, it will open the page like this. So whatever I'm currently showing, let me just quickly show when you do that, those steps like when you're creating the new project and all, right? So this is how, these are the files it will automatically create for you. So Angular will help you, Angular CLI will help you to create all of this. So what I did here, okay, I just don't have that. Okay, but yeah, so these are the list of folder and the file structure will be created. So source, app, and as we talked about, right, component, ts file, nothing but this will behave as your component ts file, and html will be there. So uh, where your html tags, these are the css, but yeah, these are the htmls. So these html, so whatever we have currently here, those only being shown here. Okay, so but yeah, don't worry about that. So we will keep learning the things. I see a chat in here. Am I clear to everyone? So I see someone is saying my voice is breaking. Am I clear now? Okay. Okay, let me continue. So this is how to create a Angular default Angular project. So when you do those commands, it will give you this structured format, and once go to this folder demo app and do the ng serve -open, it will automatically open the browser and it will open the localhost. But yeah, so it will compile everything and it will open for you this page. So from there you can start editing and start doing the stuffs. So I'm just giving one example maybe here. Welcome all. So now this should change it to welcome all. So it will reload automatically once you change it. So thereafter you can start playing and you can do that. But yeah, this is how to do the steps. Let me just jump to the next topic, components. Now let's talk about the components. What is actually a component? So we already know, so this box is a component. But what is that box, what that box is doing, and what technically what is component? So components are the most basic building block of the UI. So as I said, so we are separating the complete page with small pieces or small building blocks. So that's what I said. So this box, that is nothing but a block for the Angular. This we will be separating as a component. So in a code, in a technical IT code base, so this app.component.ts, this is your component. This entire 4 files will belongs to that component actually. That is nothing but that is a component. So if I want to use the same this complete page in anywhere, So we can just reuse this component in any other place. So that is advanced things, but don't confuse. So the component is nothing but this technically this is the component, and whatever you are giving in the HTML and logic wise, whatever you are doing in the TS, so those belongs to one component. Okay, an Angular application is a tree of Angular components. Yes, of course, you can declare component class with component decorator. So nothing but every component you can see that will start with this. This is a kind of built-in things you need to do from Angular core. Yeah, so component decorator you need to use. So we will talk about this, so don't confuse about that. But every class, so this will follow TypeScript will follow a Java script latest concept, so that will come under classes and all. So every class will follow up with the component decorator. That is so then this class will belongs to component. Angular will know that, okay, this class is having component decorator. Okay, then this class I should consider as a component. So that's how Angular will consider internally. Creating a new component using Angular CLI. So you can, Angular CLI is nothing but in terminal right now, whatever we are using ng serve. So nothing but this is the Angular CLI. So whatever the command we are writing here, right? So those command are being executed by Angular CLI. Okay, so not only this command, we have a number of command to play around. One of the command is to create a component. So like we have app component, we have write something. So to create a component, we can use either of these two commands. So ng generate component name, or ng g component. Let me create just a one component quickly. Ng g component, let's say I mean test. You just notice here, so there will be one component will be added in the left side. Okay, yeah, it is created, and you can see it here under the app folder. Now we have test. So that is one more component. So this component we can use it. So this is how to create a component. So let me quickly take a poll of questions. So please do answer it. Yeah, here we go. So please take one minute and let's finish this. Okay, let me end the poll questions. Thank you guys. Thanks for voting. Let me share the result. Okay, so you can see the results here. So what are the Angular features? So of course we talked about animations. We talked about two-way data binding, right? So we didn't talk about virtual DOM, MVC, and all. So these are the two Angular features which is listed here. And how to create a new project using Angular CLI. So we saw about that. So ng new demo app. So this is not the first option is not that is not how we create the Angular app, and third also it is wrong. Ng new demo app second is the right answer, and most of you people are correct. So how to create a new component? So of course both B and C. So ng component name, in that way also you can create, or ng generate component name, we can create it that way. So let's proceed with the next slides. Let's talk about a data binding. So we already saw, right, in one of the features, Angular features, right, data binding. So now let's see what is the data binding actually, and how many types of different forms of data binding. So Angular framework helps us to push the values to the HTML control. So we already talked, as I said, right. So from TS file, let's say here I have some variable. So this is actually called variable, title is variable, so and we gave it as demo app. So this value, this is actually data, this data now we are passing it to HTML. So that is internally it will happen, Angular built in, but we need to use that title here, so otherwise it will not happen. So now you can see here, so this is the one way of data binding. So now we are using whatever the variable we declared and used here, defined here. Okay, this is a data binding. So from TS file we are kind of pushing the data to the HTML declarative approach. Okay, that is how that is what Angular helps us to do in data binding. And Angular supports two-way data binding. So it is a simple way. So in every interview you can hear this question, what is two-way data binding in Angular? Okay, so nothing but, so now we saw one way of sending the data, right, from component to HTML. So another way also, from HTML to component also there can be a possibility of communications. So that is what the two-way data binding is about. Okay, it will happen in two way. So either from TS to HTML, nothing but component to the HTML, or HTML to the component. So this is what we say it as a two-way data binding. And it is, of course, it is plays an important role in doing the communication between template and its components. So templates are nothing but that HTML, whatever I said, right? And yeah, so let's talk about different forms of data binding. So we have the 4 different forms of data binding in Angular: interpolation, property binding, event binding, two-way data binding. Okay, so property interpolation, this is one type of interpolation. So what we see with curly brackets, double curly brackets, so we have the value displayed, right? So this value is being displayed here. You can see demo app is running, so that title is being passed from HTML. Okay, so but yeah, so this is one type of data binding. And property binding also, it is similar to interpolation, but it is having own advantage. You can see the right side image. So this is component, this is DOM, nothing but the template or the HTML. Okay, so the arrow mark you can follow. So this is also component to DOM only, component to HTML only. So this is but the syntax will be changed. We will be using we will see it in the advanced concept when we go ahead. But yeah, this is how the property being instead of double curly braces, so we will be using in some other way. And another way is the event binding. So event binding is reverse way, reverse of property binding. It will send the data or push the data from HTML to your component. Okay, that is nothing but the event actually. So on click of that button or on click of that image or something like that, right? So those being handled with event binding. Two-way data binding, so this is two-way, right, as the picture says. So this is all about the data binding. Okay, and another way of data binding also there. I mean, it is not different forms of data binding, but in a technical way we will be using this actually. So we will be having a parent and child concept. So let's not go deep into that now, so I will tell you in the later slides. But yeah, so this is another one of the picture which you can imagine. So component to template, so that is nothing but your property binding, and template to component, that is event binding. And if both can communicate with each other, like component also communicate to each other, template, and template also to a component, that is nothing but your two-way data binding. Okay, and one more is there, that is interpolation. Interpolation also looks similar to the property binding. Okay, so and here actually we talked about components, but we didn't talk about the parent child components and all, right? So but yeah, we do have such kind of concepts. So one component can behave as a parent, and some n number of components can behave as a childs to that parent. So that is the concept of parent and child here in the Angular. Okay, so let's say you wanted to pass some data from one parent component to n number of child components. Okay, so that also can be happen through property binding or event binding. Okay, that is the main picture I wanted to show it here. Okay, but yeah, don't confuse it for now. So just take basics what we are seeing here. Let's go ahead with next concept. So we saw about we talked about data binding. So now we have pipes. Okay, so let's see about pipes. What is pipes actually? So pipes are in Angular. Pipes are helping you to, as the description says here, it is helping you to display value transformation. So nothing but there are different types here. So built-in pipes. So yeah, nothing means you can't create the default I mean custom one. You can create the custom pipes also. There are the ways to create that. Those are the advanced concepts, but yeah, these are the default or built-in pipes Angular is providing. So the name says that what it can do. So you might maybe guess that already. Lowercase pipe. So nothing but let's do one maybe. Okay, so I just displayed as app, right? Let me, so you can see here that is being displayed as full uppercase, right? So I wanted to display that. Okay, not this value. Maybe I just wanted to do for this one. I will do that quickly. This is how we will use the pipe, built-in pipes. See, now we have in uppercase actually here, but it is still ignore this one. Okay, let me just make this smaller, and let me just remove this also. Now how it is displaying, this demo app is displaying with uppercase whatever we gave, right, from the component we are passing to the HTML. Okay, so but now I am using something called some pipe. This is nothing but pipe actually in the keyboard key. This is a pipe actually, and something name here you're using lowercase, right? So that will let me save this. Yeah, that will change all the things whatever we are displaying dynamically. So the title is dynamic interpolation variable, so that I'm changing it to lowercase. So if it is uppercase or lowercase, it will always display in lowercase only. So this is the concept of piping. Okay, so that is one example I showed. So we have a number of built-in pipe, and we can create custom pipes also. So date pipe, it will show in the data, and currency pipe, it will show some currency symbol before the number $5, rupees 5, something like that. So these many pipes we have. So this is the concept of pipes. So we are transferring the displayed values. That's what we here it is. So display value transformation in your HTML. Okay, that is being done by pipes. Let's go to the next concept. So what is directive? That is another concept called directives in Angular. This is also kind of helping to transform some kind of HTML things. So but it will helps to transform the browser DOM. Browser DOMs are nothing but, see, I wanted to remove this span tag itself. I wanted to add one more, or I wanted to do kind of for loop for this span tag with a number of times. Okay, I wanted to display this particular message a number of times. Those are nothing but you are manipulating, or you are doing transformation on the tag itself, HTML tag. This is nothing but HTML tag. Okay, that's what directive is about. It helps to transform the browser DOM, nothing but adding or removing or hiding that particular tag. Okay, so that is being done by directives. And again, directives are two different types actually. So structural directive and attribute directive. Let's talk about what is structural and attribute. Yep, let me just take you further. Structural directives. Let's see about structural directives. What is that? So structural. So before seeing the description, let me directly quick go through the what is the different types of built-in structural directives we have. Ngif, ng for, ng switch. Okay, as I said, right? So we can do the for loop and all in HTML. So that is the beauty of Angular here. So and with structural directives. So Angular provides something called ng for. Okay, so that will print your print whatever we want in a number of ways or a number of times it can print it. And ng if, so we can hide it or we can based on some if condition we can do that. So let me just quickly show the one of the types, maybe ng if. This is how to do the structural directive things. Ng if, this is the how we should add it. Ng if, ng for and all, and you should use the asterisk symbol before that. Asterisk symbol you should always use with the structural directives, so that is to recognize, easy to recognize for you, and that is how internally Angular are built. So you should always use asterisk before the structural directives of this. Okay, so now let's say I'm passing true to this ngf. Okay, so which means now this if condition is true, which means this tag should be displayed, right? Yes, it is displaying. That's good. And let's do it in the other way. False. Let's see whether, so now that tag of information is not displaying. So this is how we can play around in business logic or in your requirements, in your project requirements. These are the important concepts, I would say. So the directives, ng if for, and also you can play around it when you are getting the times. Or please do attend the flash course or the full course, so to know the depth of the structural directives. We have else also with the ngif, you can use else also. So how in Java or C we will be using, right, if else. So the same thing we can do it here, and ng for, ng switch and all. But yeah, so now you might have understood what structural directive is doing. So it is altering your DOM, or it is deciding what it should display. So it is altering your layout by adding or removing and replacing the things. This is about structural directives. Okay, let's talk about attribute directives. What is attribute directive? It changes structural directive. It helps you to change the or removing or replacing the elements. But attribute directive helps you to in a css way, in styling way. Actually, it helps you to change the appearance or behavior of an element. Let's say um, uh, I when I hover on this, I wanted to display this as a yellow color or some different color. So those kind of things you can do with the I mean attribute directive. And yeah, built-in attribute directive is ng style. So nothing but this is a kind of style tag only that is being provided by Angular. So here you can use different styles like color, background, and all. So and you can create your custom attribute directive also with these conditions. So I mean with these commands using Angular CLI. Ng generate. So always remember about generate. Ng generate either directive or component in the different way. Okay, so directive and the directive name. Okay, this attribute directive you can do or create in that way. So but structural directive you can't create. So whatever we had built in, so that is only the structural directives. But attribute directive you can do the custom also. So before going to the next topic, so let me just take a quick pause for the poll. Yeah, please do fill it. I will give 1 minute. Everyone please participate so that we will know how much it is reaching you people. Okay, I think good to share the result. Let me in the poll. Sharing the result now. Okay, structural directive always start with, yes, of course, it should start with asterisk. Most of you people are right. Which directive will help to change the appearance of an element? Appearance of the element will be done by attribute directive. If it is something like related to alter the DOM, actually, like adding or removing or replacing the element in the HTML, that is the structural directive. But if something related to the appearance of an element, so that is handled by attribute directive. Okay, so how to create a new directive using Angular CLI? So yes, of course, ngg directive and a directive name. Yeah, most of you are right. Let's go ahead with the next. This is another one more important topic for maybe the interview questions also. So you will be getting from here. Lifecycle hooks of Angular. So other frameworks or the library also have their own lifecycle, like React.js have its own lifecycle hooks, and Angular also does. Uh, Remember these names, and don't go much deeper for now for the basics understanding, but remember these names. So in the further slides you will know what how the flow of these things. These are nothing but these are methods or functions. So nothing but it, if you don't know about methods or function also, that's good, but yeah, just remember these names: ng on changes, ng on init. These are the life cycle methods or life cycle hooks available in Angular. So you may get a questions like list down the life cycle hooks of Angular. So please list down. Not only this, I have another in the page, next page. Yeah, this all also. Ng on changes on in it, do check after content in it, and these menus are there. So just remember the names. Let me show the flow of it, how the flow of each component will work with these methods. Okay, so when component is created in the browser, so which means, so now let's say I'm just refreshing here. So nothing but it will reload, and it will the page, the whatever the content is, that will start initializing, right? So that those things been decided by these lifecycle hooks. Okay, this lifecycle hooks are dedicated to each component. So every component will have these lifecycle hooks. So we saw about app component, we saw about test component. So test component also will have the lifecycle hooks, and app component also will have its own lifecycle hooks. So now currently it don't have anything, but nothing but lifecycle hooks are nothing but this is kind of having this kind of method here. So whatever you wanted to do, you can do it here. Okay, that is about the lifecycle hooks methods. Okay, so but yeah, here you can see whatever is in red line and red box, that is being called only once. Okay, so ng on in it, this will be called only when the component is initialized. So same way ng on changes, every time it will call whenever the data is updated. Whenever the data is updated, these other black and green things will start flowing. But whatever in red, that will be called only once. So the same thing I have given in the description here, and you can I will share the references where you can see the deeper details of this. But yeah, so it's good to have the understanding in the kind of full course or a flash course kind of concepts. But yeah, this is all about the life cycle, and remember the names for now. So each methods are doing their own activity on their different phase. Let's say when the component is loaded, so that time ng on in it will be getting called, that method will be called. Okay, so that way only whenever there is any data being updated in the component, ng on changes will be called, then ng do check, then ng after content checked, after view checked, and then ng on destroy. Ng on destroy is nothing but when you are completely going from one component to another component, so that time that first component will be destroyed actually. So which means it's a kind of internally it will clear that component A and it is going to the component B, right? So that time when the component is getting destroyed, that time if you want to do any kind of logic, you can use the ng on destroy method. And this is how it's been structured in life cycles of Angular. So let's talk about forms in Angular quickly. So I have kept one kind of example. So forms are nothing but, so this you might have seen day in your day-to-day life, right? So in many website you might have saw, or in the sign in of Google also you might have saw, you have to give your name, phone number. Those are nothing but forms actually. Okay, so in Angular we have two different types of form: reactive form, template driven form. So it both are having their own advantages and kind of drawbacks also. But yeah, reactive forms is being widely used, and it is structured and immutable, and it is a synchronous also. So synchronous are nothing but whenever you are updating it, it will immediately reflect the changes to your template or the component files actually. So but yeah, so remember these two names, reactive and template driven forms. So these been used widely here. So and one of the example here I'm showing here is the reactive forms. Okay, so let's say I'm just displaying here. So you can see it is dynamically being updated here. So nothing but we are just displaying whatever we are writing it here. So this is how it behaves in the modern world. And not only this, let's say I wanted to add dynamic forms itself. So yeah, now we have two alias only, so I can add one more form field itself. So in that case you can go for reactive forms. So reactive forms will help you in that. So we are not going to cover the code, how to do that and all. So this is just a basic things, but yeah, this is how to do that. And you can dynamically update the forms also, like now it is just clicking on this, it will update that forms. But in your business logic it might be different way also. So but this is how we can do that with template and the template, I mean reactive and template driven forms. So remember these things. And form validation also you can do. So here we don't have any, I guess. Yeah, form validations are nothing but you might have noticed. So please provide the valid phone number or valid email address in many websites, right? Those are nothing but validation messages. So we you no need to write extra code in Angular. So with the reactive and template driven forms, so the form validations are coming inbuilt. So it is a kind of plug and play kind of concept you can do with the forms. So you can define how the form structure should be. Let's say I don't want to allow any kind of number entry in the first name. So that you can control with the form validation, and you can display some kind of error messages down to this box. So those kind of concept can be done with reactive and template driven. So let's not cover more on that. Let me go to the next concept, routing and navigation. So we already talked about, right, initially. So routing is the main concept. Let's say we have in if you start developing or if you start working in MNCs and in a project or like big kind of big projects like let's say some e-commerce or retail application. So there you might see hundreds of components you will be having in your project. So each component will have different routing, like let's say dashboard or something, different routings. So that different routing is nothing but it will take you to the different page and the different components. So that is the concept of routing here. Routing is nothing but it is just when you are clicking on something, it will take you to the some other component in your same URL itself. So that is a concept of routing and navigation. Yes, Angular supports routing and navigation also. And you can create new routing files with this command, ng new routing app hyphen routing. This is just name for that routing app, but this is how to create the ng new. Okay. And you can have nested routes. Nested routes is nothing but it's not only like you can have like dashboard, you can have like dashboard slash something like home or something. So this is a nested route. So this dashboard will act as your parent route, and this will be a child of this dashboard. So in that way also we can create with the help of the routing and navigation. Okay. And lazy loading, that is this is a main concept or important concept for the interview questions also. So nothing but, so in the same example I'm taking now. So in your project you have thousands of components. So to load that much huge component in front end, it will take more time. so it will make the user to wait for more time, right? So that is not a good practice to do, right? So that's where lazy loading concept is comes into the picture. Let's say initial time you don't need every component. Let's say you are in this, dashboard, and like this. So for dashboard routing, I just wanted to load only the dashboard component. I don't want to load the other 999 components, right? So that time we will be just loading in the web browser only that component. Okay, in all other 999 components will be still in the server only, so it will not come to the client. So this is the concept of lazy loading. So that will help to reduce the waiting time for the user. That will increase the performance. So that is the main concept of lazy loading. Okay, and jumping to the next topic. We have short of time. Yeah, component interaction, this we already saw. So how to communicate or how to send the data from parent to child, we saw that, but we didn't see about child to parent, how to do that. And we didn't see about communication between two components, the two components which is not having any relationship at all. So in the about to example you are seeing, it is having parent to child, parent and child concept relationship, right? But assume that you have some components and that don't have any relationship like parent child and all. So there can be a scenario like that. So in that way you can use service to communicate between this. So you can have some data in the service, and both the components can take a look at that, or take a pull of that particular data from the service. So this is the one example. And these two things we already saw, parent to child. And remember this, this important in interview questions, maybe if you are going for interview or something, how to do the parent to child component, that is via property binding, and how to do from child to parent, that is via event binding. And coming to the next important one, services and dependency injection. So dependency injections are nothing but you are injecting the services to the component. So if you remember, we saw in the architecture of Angular. So there was a service box, and it was mapping to the components thing, right? That is nothing but dependency injection. So we are injecting that particular service to the component actually. Okay, so let's talk about what is service is doing. Services are the data providers for a component. Yes, we already talk about it is a data provider for a component, and it helps to talk to the servers also. That is a one another way of using the service. And another way is, in the previous slide we saw, so anything like kind of common data which needs to be talked with another component, I mean multiple components, those can be kept in the service. And the dependency injection we talked about. And you can generate a service using Angular CLI, this one. So this will generate you the file actually. So how we generated the component, right? ngg service name, so remember that, it will be useful. And the communicating with backend services using HTTP. So so we talked about how to communicate with the server, from where to communicate with the server, from service file only. But which package or which module will help us to do that communication? That is nothing but HTTP client module. That is an Angular built-in module that will help us to communicate from client to backend server. So nothing but to get some data from the backend database or something like that. So this HTTP client module only we will be using to do that communications. Okay, so Angular supports all the RESTful services. So RESTful, so if you don't aware of RESTful services, nothing but those are a standard method or services which is kept worldwide, uh, uh, that is we are using frequently to communicate from client to backend server. Okay, so I just named a few of them, so but we have many. And error handling. So let's assume we are talking to backend server, but due to some technical glitch, the backend server is down or something like so. That those kind of errors we should be handling it in front end, right? In the Angular. So that also can be possible in Angular. That is what error handling. Okay. Now, one more important concept is testing concept. This is one of the key features in the Angular, right? So we talked about karma in the Angular features, right? It is a test runner in Angular which is helping to run the test cases. Okay, so this is the textual which to visualize that. And this is how to run your test cases. So nothing but now to run the app, we just used ng serve, right? The same way, if you do ng test, it will run the test unit test cases. If you return anything, so that will run and it will give you the results in the UI actually. So how much your code is in a good shape, or how much it is bug free. So those kind of unit testing and end-to-end integration testing can be done with the testing tool Karma and Jasmine and all. So these are the different area you can apply the testing actually: component testing, functional testing, service, so services, whatever you have, that testing, directive, and API testing also. So I think yep, these are the reference. So I'm done with most of the things. And please check the official site of the Angular, but those are kind of more technical it will be. So please attend the flash course or the full course. That will help you really in upskilling yourself in the kind of full stack development or Angular developments. So you can check the trending in the market actually. So how the Angular is in a current booming stack of IT industry. Okay, and these are the key some of the references. And thanks for everyone for your timing. I think this sessions. I hope it makes sense of something, and you guys grasped some of the things. So please drop a questions in the chat box if you guys have anything. So let me clear that if I can. So please drop the questions in the chat box. But in the meantime, let me hand over it to the Soumya. Yeah, Soumya, please take it forward. Soumya, are you there? Okay, I think she will be back.
Hi Gautam. Okay, I'll just continue from my side.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for this wonderful session. So let me share my screen. So if I'll just explain about the methodology that we follow in AP trainings. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can see.
Yeah. Okay. So we call it as APT 5 forces. So first one, simple learning methodology. Second, students recall. Third, creative explanation. Fourth, fingertip materials. And fifth is addition bonuses. So I'll be explaining in detail about all these in the next few slides. So simple learning methodology. So every class is going to be for 75 minutes. And session 1 will be for 10 minutes. You will revise yesterday's class topic and clear your doubts with the trainer. And session 2 will be for 20 minutes. That will cover today's class topic. Session 3 will be for 15 minutes and you will be given time to practice for that particular day's topic. And session 4 will be for 15 minutes. That will cover today's class topic. So session 5 will be for 10 minutes. Again, you will be given time for practice. And this is parallelly, you and the trainer will be working together, and any doubts during the training can be clarified then and there. And we call it as learning pyramid. So if you go on to YouTube or any online platforms, you would not know which are being applied in current working scenario. But if you take training from us, you are being trained by a professional who is already working in that domain. So you will be guided accordingly what needs to be learned for that particular job role or that particular technology. And we call it as creative explanation. So all the classes will be online and it will be through Zoom or Skype. And we will also create a community. We have a community group where you can join and get updates on job openings or any other doubts regarding to the regarding career perspective and technology. And we also have virtual classrooms. So we also provide OneNotes, where daily class notes will be provided in OneNotes, which you can uh, to refer for future references. We also use a method called mind map, where the trainer will be able to identify your weaknesses and strengths, and he'll be able to guide you on which topic to focus more and which topic to focus less. And more information you will be provided with class notes and diagrammatic flow explanations. You will be provided with materials that will be helpful for your interviews and other um, other trainings. And whole training will be given in one single notebook. That is the OneNotes that I told you about. So fingertip materials, all the materials will be uploaded onto a drive and you will be given access. And each recorded session will be given for you, that is video recordings. And class notes and documents will also be provided, and software will also be provided for the same. Additional bonuses that I told you about: free interview session. So this interview session is not just during the course, even after the course. If you're attending any interview on that particular technology, you can reach out to our team. We will be happy to help you with tips that are needed for that particular role and particular technology. So we will also be helping you with resume preparation, what has to be put in the resume to get notified, recognized by the recruiter. And we also provide lifelong community support, that is not just during the course, even after the course we will be there to help you with any doubts related to the trainings or related to the technologies. And you will get full support from our team, not just during the course, even after it. And professional certification guidance. So if there are any professional certifications that needs to be done, you can come to us for tips or materials to prepare for it. We will be helping you with the same. Job links also will be provided in our community group, that is exclusively for our students, which we generally share with them. And we can also, if there is a demand for that particular job, we can also refer you in that position. And LinkedIn recommendation, we also give LinkedIn recommendations. Once you finish the course, we will be helping you with LinkedIn recommendation, so that you get recognized by recruiters on LinkedIn as well. So this is the learning methodology that we follow in AP trainings. Let me play a feedback video of one of our students. This student took training from us for Blue Prism RPA, and she got placed in the US. She was in on working visa, and she got placed, and she also took
All.
few more trainings from us.
I'm Sivagami from US. I'm a student. I have learned Blue Prism course from AP trainings to restart my career. They trained us very well and the trainer is excellent. After the course completion, I felt like 100% worth for that money I paid. I recommend you to choose AP trainings for your better future. Thank you very much. Bye.
So this is one of our students review that we have. I can also show some feedbacks from our WhatsApp. So we have a lot of feedbacks from our students. Since it's we have time constraint, I'm just showing few. This is one of our USA student that I spoke about. She got placed from us, from getting trained from us. And this feedback is from a working professional who took SQL training from us and got placed in an MNC. And this is totally a non-IT person who got trained and really prepared well for the interviews, taking the advice from our trainers and the community, and she got placed for RPA. So these are the few feedbacks from our student as well. Now I'll be showing you about the offer that we have for today. So this is the training model that we follow. It will either be through Skype or Zoom, and normal training for full course is going to span from 35 to 40 hours each, for 30 classes. I mean, depending on your convenient time, you can have the classes. If you and the trainer are okay, you can have the classes accordingly. It's going to be one-to-one training, and 35 to 40 hours minimum for a full course. Depending on your learning ability, it might extend a bit. And flash course is for again through Skype or Zoom, and it will be for 10 hours, 2 days workshop. So here we will also cover a little bit of advance so that you're able to crack the interview also with that particular technology. And if you want to really go in depth, a flash course is recommended. So can you all guess the market price for AngularJS in the chat box, please, for us, just to get an idea about how well you know about the technology, or how is it? Can you all put them in the chat box so that I get a overview of it? Okay, I'm getting few responses. Okay, so I'm getting a few responses as 5K. Okay, 17,000. Some say no idea. Okay, let me take you through it. So full course is from 17K to 25K. Someone guessed it right. Outside in the market. Flash course is for 10K to 15K. So, but in AP trainings, we are not going to give it at this price. Can you guess the price at which we are going to give AngularJS for you? Full course and flash course, please, on the chat box so that I can see what best we can do for you. Can you put them in the chat box, please? Okay, so we are not going to give it at this price. So the crazy offer that we have for you, which is going to be one-to-one training for AngularJS from an amazing trainer, full course at 12,000 and flash course at 1,000 only. So this is the crazy offer that we have for you. So you can make the payment today and send us the screenshot so that we will be able to start the classes for you. I'll just show you. The full course is going to be for 12K. So full course at 12K, flash course at 1,000 only. So this is the course price we have for you for AngularJS. Full course is going to be for 12K and flash course for 1,000 only. Full course is going to be for 30 to 40 hours and flash course will be for 10 hours. We will make sure once you join the course, you are able to know about the technology, you are able to crack the interviews well. And once you make the payment, you can send us the screenshot. For full course, you can just as a token pay us 1K and send a screenshot to start the course for you, and later you can pay it in installments. Because of COVID, we are giving this opportunity. And full course will be for 12K and flash course will be for 1,000 only. This is the offer that we have for you today, and make the best use of it, because this is we can assure that you will be like knowing about the technology, and you will be able to understand everything completely, and you'll be able to crack interviews as well. So if you are a student, this gives you a better chance to land in a very good job for this technology. Or if you are already a working professional, you can upskill even more. So depending on your level of competence, we would create a syllabus accordingly and help you with understanding the same. Since it was a short masterclass today, a few things were like could have been new to you, but for during the session, during the class, you will be like entirely mentored by a trainer. So even if you don't understand anything now, during the course, you will definitely be able to understand about it. So this is the crazy offer that we have for you: full course at 12,000 and flash course at 1,000 only. Yeah, and the special bonuses that I spoke about: free interview session, resume preparation help, professional certification guidance, and lifelong community support. So these are like not just during the course, we can assure you even after the course, any number of times we will be there to help you on the same. And we have a very huge community of trainers and professionals, working professionals and students who have got placed, who can help us with better understanding of the job role in that particular company, or help us with the vacancies that are there in the company. So we'll be taking that effort to give you the right input when you need it. So these are the special bonuses. Your special advantages would be clear queries at any time with the trainer. So you we will create a separate group for you and the trainer, and you can clear queries anytime with the trainer. And training at your preferred time. So you can choose your timing conveniently, and if the trainer is also okay with it, you can have the training conducted. Recorded videos will also be provided. Job links will also be provided in our student community groups. Once you finish our course, we will also be helping you. If you come to us saying like, tell me if there are any vacancies in this particular technology, we will also be helping you with the same. So salary prediction, if you are a fresher, and we have seen like people who have got trained before they could land in a job as a fresher, after getting trained and they have a demo to show the recruiter, or experience to show the recruiter, they land up with 5 lakhs per annum. And if you are an experienced person, you would be landing at 20 plus salary for a 10 years of experience. So this is the general thing that we have. So one small step can change your life. I think people who joined today have already taken that one small step to know about this technology. So make the best use of it, so that you are being trained by someone who is already working in that domain, and he is able to guide you well on this. Depending on your learning ability, we can still extend it. It's not going to be after 40 hours or 10 hours if you don't understand, or if you are not able to understand some concept. We are not going to stop the training for you. We'll make sure by the end of the course you are able to clear interviews and take the next step in your career. So this is one assurance that we can give from our side, because that is what everyone are looking for in a training, right? So we will make sure that you are industry ready during the training, and we will help you with all that is needed to clear interviews. And I'll also be sharing the feedback form in a while. As I said, I'm repeating it again. A full course will be for 12K and flash course will be for 1,000. Okay, so let me share the feedback link. Please fill the feedback link to get your e-certificates. And it's more than a certificate, it's the amount of knowledge that you give, knowledge that you show during the interview. And we will also help you with how to clear interviews, how to improve your soft skills during the interviews. So I think this was a very good session for you. Being it a short session, we were not able to give you enough details, but I think the trainer took tremendous effort in explaining things. In the course, it will be even more focused, and you'll be mentored according to your level of understanding. And I'm sharing the feedback form with all of you. And within a week, you will get your certificates after filling the feedback form. So make sure you're able to like make the best use of this training, because it's going to be one-to-one training and fully focused on you. So please make a wise decision. And it's full course for 12K and flash course for 1,000 only. If you are planning to join the full course, you can pay a token of 1,000 first for now, and you can start the courses because the placement season has started. So you can start the courses and later you can pay the remaining fee. So this is something that we are giving for now. And any other queries, you can put them in the chat box, or we can close this session for today. Any other questions? Or we can close this session for today. Okay, great. So I'll send the payment link on the group. So if you have any other doubts, you can reach out to us on WhatsApp. You can reach out to any of the admins or AP trainings. We are there on YouTube and other social medias. You can watch our other videos as well. And you can reach out to us on Instagram. We are most active in that. If you have any queries about Angular JS and you want to start the courses soon, please let us know. Send us the screenshot so that we will be able to guide you better soon. Yeah. So this is the best time to learn this technology. I would say there is a lot of demand in the market. So that's why most of our free master classes are only on the technology that are like having demand in the market, so that you also have an idea about which technology to choose. So please follow our YouTube also and other Instagram profiles. And if you have any doubt, please let us know. You can reach out to any of the admins in the group. Yeah. And once you make the payment, send us the screenshot so that we can add you with the trainers group and you can start the classes as soon as possible. And anything else, or we can close this session? I hope people have noted the feedback link. Please fill the feedback form to get your e-certificates. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Let's close the session for today. Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Gautam. Thank you all.